Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my marathon review session starts on this early Monday morning, and once again, plenty of Joe to get us through this. I spent the whole weekend watching movies, sometimes at very ridiculous hours. It's like, why are you watching this now? And that might have been one of the problems with this next movie. Oh, I gotta tell you, sometimes a film has a great concept. It's built on a sturdy foundation, if you will. But through various technical nuances, both behind the camera and in front of the camera, that foundation quickly crumbles, and the movie does not deliver the grand estate that it should. Hmm? Cinematic class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and this morning's lesson plan deals with a movie called ASSASSINAUT. Okay, this really had an interesting premise, okay, but everything just kind of fell apart on us. It truly, truly did. This is one of the films that Dread Central is cleaning out of its vaults. Now, if you followed my reviews along, I have fallen in love with the people from Dread Central. I thought they were putting out some really great schlock B horror films, and they truly were. Well, it wasn't because they were putting out such good stuff. It wasn't long before they teamed up with Epic Pictures, and they dropped the Central and just became Dread. Okay, there's no problem with that, but apparently, even though they made the merger, Dread Central still had a bunch of films in its basement, and they're releasing them now with the tandem of Dread and Epic together, and kind of clearing the house a little bit. And you can see why these weren't picked as the first movies to be released, because they have some problems, and ASSASSINAUT is like that. There is one character in here that is really worthwhile, and he is the commander. He's played by Vito Trigo, and his character is the most fun out of all of them. Had they explored him a little better, maybe even given him a little more screen time, I don't think that would have hurt. It probably would have helped this movie. The whole premise is, it's presented in a very choppy fashion. There are a couple of edits in this movie that you scratch your head and say, what in the world was this guy thinking? And the guy, by the way, is Michael Lane. He's the editor. And some of his edits are so choppy, you really have to be concentrating and really have to, bear down to make a connection of what was transpiring between the two sequences. And then, no film should make you work that hard. It's not rocket scientist, kids. You're trying to entertain somebody for a couple of hours. And that's certainly not the way to do it. I'm tempted to say that the acting in this is juvenile, but that would really be a bad pun, okay? Because the heroes, if you will, the protagonists, are 4 kids, and it's almost filmmaking 101. That these kids not only have names, but they're assigned colors, and of course the main colors are red, green, and blue, because those are the 3 primary colors of television. So we got to put them in there. Now, red is Sarah, and she's played by Shannon Hutchinson. She's pretty much the main star and the one, if you will, left holding the bag at the end of the movie. Blue is Charlie, and she's Jasmina Perron. That's the French pronunciation. Perhaps if she's not French, it would just be Parent. But considering that's the same last name as Bernie Perron, one of the greatest goaltenders to ever play in the National Hockey League, if she's not saying it Perron, she should. Okay, and she is blue. Okay, and then our green is Brooke, and Brooke is played by Yael Haskin. And green, or Brooke, is the nerd. She's the scientific whiz, the kind of geek, if you will. And I throw in token boy. His name is Tom. He's played by Jonathan Newport, and they ran out of primary colors for television, so they make him yellow. He's one of these kids that, as soon as he comes on screen, you're going like, oh my God, please, somebody kill him fast. And thankfully, they do. So you don't have to suffer through his meanderings and his dialogue very, very long. The plot is interesting. Apparently, aliens come down to take over Earth. And the aliens are like pod people. You know, they take human form, but the aliens are like inside. So it's hard to tell who's an alien and who's a real human. Well, in the course of the opening sequence, we are promised epic battles. Okay? We're promised the commander makes his first appearance, and he's all gung ho about saving the Earth, even if it means assassinating the president. Okay? People are worried about, well, the humans are going to use nuclear weapons against the aliens. Well, wait a minute. If the aliens come down, they're going to nuke the Earth. And guess what? They were both right. So this whole thing goes kablooey, and then we jump 10 years later. And the commander has failed in his quest to save Earth. It has not made him a very happy person. He is despondent and pretty much living out of a flask that he keeps in his hip pocket. And all through the movie, this flask is never empty. And I think if this is coming in future technology, it's a worthwhile thing. I'd like to have it now. Who wouldn't? Okay. But the main acting is done by the kids, and like I said, it's really kind of juvenile. There's nobody really strong in this movie as it goes. The movie becomes a little bit predictable, and the ending is one that, oh wow, you're looking at this and you're going, wait a minute, And here's the kicker: they set you up in the opening reel with this human versus alien and a lot of gore and a good shot of the alien. You're thinking, oh, I'm in for a ride. No, you're not. Oh my God, this movie goes on and there's nothing happening. It's all this dragged out, emotional thing. Wow, I'm a kid that has everything. I'm a kid that has nothing. Oh, who cares, you whining little brats? Finally, in the final 10 minutes, you get another battle scene. You got aliens coming, and you go, this is what I paid to see, and it's over. Wow, I can't believe they did this. So it's kind of choppy, and it's kind of bad, and there's not a whole lot going on with this thing. There really isn't. It needs a lot of work in the middle. Act 2, beginning of Act 1, beginning of Act 3, pardon me, and Act 2 it'll put you to sleep. You got 10 minutes good in the front, 10 minutes good in the back. The rest of it is pretty much disposable. Sorry to say that, but Dread is cleaning out its warehouse, and these ones are not. They're not cut of the same ilk that created Dread in the first place. The movie is called ASSASSINAUT. Might want to skip this one. Now that you have learned what you have learned, you're ended your lesson.